Grand Rising. Happy Saturday. I pray everybody's having a positive, productive start to your day today. If not, I pray that your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course the Most High help you with that today. I also pray that He clothes you in His armor from head to toe, that He strengthens your discernment and guides your steps as you go throughout this day. I've already done the daily devotion and the verse of the day. Now I'm pulling the chakra wisdom card for the day, their affirmations. I already attempted to do this video once when I was outside, but there was just too many distractions out there. It's Saturday. There's a lot of traffic. I'll start doing some more videos outside, like during the weekday when there's not as much traffic. All right, Spirit, give us a affirmation card for Saturday, October 12th, 2024, please. The one that came out outside was sexuality. All right, I like that option better. I will do a discussion video about that at some point, but 122 on the timer, that conversation was going to go pretty deep, and there was just too many distractions. So, first chakra, base chakra, patience. As I observe in nature, growth takes time. This is a time for reflection, persistence, and surrender as things unfold at their own pace. I remain calm and tolerant during any challenging times. I develop quiet hope and expectations based on trust both in myself and in a higher power. Boy, that's a deep subject, patience. Patience is something that if it doesn't come naturally to you, I don't know about anybody else, but I had a very difficult time learning patience. But I'm drawn back to that clip with Morgan Freeman. I wish I knew what movie that was from. But basically, Cliff Notes' version of what he said is, when you pray for something, God doesn't just give it to you. You go through tests and trials and tribulations to develop whatever that is. Whether it's courage, faith, patience, trust, love, empathy. There are so many things that we go through in life that we go through so that we can learn through them. Learn to process it. Learn to become grounded in a higher power and not in your outside circumstances. You know, and I've tried to say it several times, and I'm going to keep trying to say it. That higher power is within us. The scripture tells us it is within us. Our body is the temple. That's why there's no need to build all these extravagant temples and palaces and, whatever. That's where so many people get it wrong. They look externally instead of internally. It's a step in the right direction when you can acknowledge that. And in where it talks about reflection, persistence, and surrender. Surrender to that higher power. Surrender the programming that you've been given and be persistent in seeking the truth. Be persistent in applying those truths to your lives. And also don't forget to reflect on all those things. Emotions, situations, people, places, and things. I talked about it the other day. When you experience a feeling, when you experience emotion, even if you can't do it at that exact moment, at some point nearby, try to take the time to reflect on what made you feel that way, what made you respond in the way you responded, what encouraged you or influenced you to say the things that were said or do the things that were done. Those emotions can be positive or negative. It's not just about the negative. It's about acknowledging the positive too, acknowledging how far you've come, the lessons that you have learned. And not only acknowledging them, but being persistent about applying them. And the more you can surrender and let go of this outside world, the easier that becomes. Hope. That's the same thing as faith. When you say, I hope, that means you say you're having faith. You have faith that it will come. You have faith that circumstances will change. But it requires persistence and reflection on a regular basis, not just one day out of the week. All right. Being calm and tolerant during challenging times. Dude, that is difficult. I don't care who you are. When you're fighting a battle, it is so hard to stay calm and stay tolerant. Because now, side note, be aware and be cautious of what you're tolerant of. There are good and bad. And you don't want to tolerate disrespect. You don't want to tolerate abuse or being mistreated or being in an unhealthy situation. That's when the persistence and the reflection is so important. Reflecting on the reality of the situation and being calm. That's a hard one too. If you got somebody there pushing your buttons, trying to get you riled up, first of all, we shouldn't be tolerant of that. And second of all, respond calmly. Don't let those emotions bubble up and pour out. And you know, I get it. You have those people that'll tell you, well, just walk away. Just walk away. You know, because you find yourself in a situation that you don't want to tolerate. But you know, it's not always that easy. It's not always as simple as just walking away. Some situations you can't just walk away from for whatever reason, whether it's internal circumstances or external circumstances. There's situations and things that it's not like you can just pack up your shit and leave. You know, and the same thing with emotions. You know, if somebody's trying to start an argument with you, and say it's a coworker, and you're at work and they're trying to start an argument with you, well, you can't just get up and walk away and walk off the job. That wouldn't be a very practical response. So it's about reflecting on it and using that discernment to process what's happened and make the best choice. The best choice may be to walk away from that job. But we never want to and I'm guilty. I am not judging. I have done it so many times. Don't make decisions, especially life-changing decisions, based on emotions. But at the same time, see, this is where the balance comes in and all those fine lines. Sometimes we need to be tolerant of people, places, things, situations. But that's where your discernment and knowing your own energy and knowing what's right and wrong for you comes in. So it's so important. I don't want to let it get cold. The last cup I made got cold. It's all about balance. Like, it doesn't matter what topic I talk about. That's what it comes back to, is balance. You have to know your own energy. You have to know who you are, what you're willing to tolerate, what you're not, what's your stance on anything and everything. And if you come across this situation, a person, a place, or a thing, and you're like, wow, I've never had to deal with this before, that is the time when reflection is more important than ever. And I think it came up yesterday about knowing who you are. Knowing who you are. Let me shut this door. Copper, sit down. Get up there and sit down. He's mad and pacing because we came back inside. I couldn't, it was just too much distraction for me. Not only the video, not just the video, but for me in general. I don't like being close to all this traffic, but I'm still grateful. You know, I'm not going to complain. So anyways, taking the time to know who you are and where you stand, it will save you time in the long run. There's a gnat flying around in here. I rebuke all negative energy. I rebuke all monitoring spirits in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I don't know if I got it or not. I don't think I did. Anywho, and the world is very good at distracting us from that, to where we don't take the time and the energy to do those things, to learn who we are, to process how things make us feel, to process and understand why things are happening and how they're happening and what's causing them to happen. And it just goes so deep that if you don't dedicate, what is the word that I already put it back in here. I don't know why I stuck it back in at just a random place. I usually just lay it right on top. Being tolerant. As I observe nature, growth takes time. Right. Time, energy, effort. Well, if your schedule is cram-packed from daylight till dark, getting the kids ready, getting you ready, going to work, going to the store, running errands, doing sports, you know what I'm saying? If your day stays full all the time, you don't have the time to observe those things. You don't have the time to sit down and process and reflect about the things that are happening around you in your life, in your family's life, in society, in the world. We don't, and that's the whole point. That's why they want us distracted. That's why they want us in our feelings, keeping us stressed and worried and scared and sad and manipulating those emotions to distract us from us. We put the world puts so much time and energy and effort into the distraction that when something happens and you don't have a choice, it hits you like a wrecking ball. Because for so long, and that's one of the things, for me, that was a hard part of it, was, wow, this has been in my face this whole time and I've just been oblivious. That's one of the things that made my self-forgiveness so hard. But the higher power knows that it's not our fault. But he also knows that we have free will. You choose what you give your time and your energy to. Well, are you going to give that to the outside world, or are you going to give it to yourself? You have to make yourself a priority to be able to take those steps. And that all boils down to self-love. If you don't love yourself enough to take the time to learn who you are, to reflect on the things that have happened in your life, to be persistent in seeking that knowledge, and then to surrender the stuff that you can't do anything about, have the serenity to keep calm, have the courage to change the things that you can, even in those challenging times. And then turn the rest over. Be quiet and rest so that you can hear the universe speaking to you. And it'll bring a lot of comfort and peace. I promise. All right. Be grateful for what you have, the big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any possible way that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life, and you never know the impact it can have on yours. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.